Hi, Cougars. This is your counselor, Miss T, with another lesson. So, before we get into our lesson, I just wanted to wish Diego, Ahmad, Chris, and Angie a happy birthday. And on this day in 2004, the final episode of Friends aired. Basically, 52 million people watched it, and it was called The Last One. And fun fact, my fiance's name is Ross and his brother is named Joey, and that's a total coincidence. Now it's counseling lesson time, and today's topic is yoga. You've probably heard of yoga and maybe tried it before. You may think it's not your thing, or maybe you're not flexible enough to try yoga. I'll be honest, that was my line of thinking before I tried it out. However, when you have a growth mindset, which we're going to talk about in a later lesson, you realize that you can always grow in areas you never thought you could. Now it's one of my favorite activities, so I'm glad I eventually became open-minded enough to try it out. So, why yoga? It is a part of mindfulness and helps you stay in the present and relax. Let's define yoga and bust some myths. It is not saying with your eyes closed while you do a handstand. You do not have to be spiritual to do it. And it's not a state of altering one's mind. And it's not like the movies where you can read minds and everything after doing yoga. So, what is it? It is a form of stretching that helps you relax. It focuses on breathing to help relax your muscles. And like we said before, it is a form of mindfulness or a way of staying in the present instead of in your head or in your mind that is full of racing thoughts. Here's a picture of your brain. The front part of your brain is there to help you with decision making and to control your emotions. Where that red arrow is, that purple part, it is called the prefrontal cortex. Let's call it Mr. Court to help you remember. Actually, it's more like Coach Court, since if this part of your brain was anything, it would be a coach on a sports team. Let me explain why. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for decision making, like we said, and emotion management. If Coach Court were your brain, he would be responsible for controlling emotions on the team. Like when he sees players all nervous, he is responsible for relaxing so they can play their best. Coach Court also creates the game plans and play-by-plays before all the team heads to the court. Your prefrontal cortex is responsible for all the decisions you're going to make on an everyday basis. So it's very important that that frontal lobe is very active, or in other words, Coach Court is. Basically, when you practice yoga, it allows the prefrontal cortex to develop and enhance in teens more than adults. That's pretty shocking. So every time you do yoga, it's as if Coach Court's team was in a good mental state and brought the team to the championships. These are all the benefits of yoga stretching. You're getting some movement in your body, which allows your mind to focus on the moments instead of your racing thoughts. You also get more flexible, which is not bad to have. With flexibility, you can do handstands and you won't dread every time you need to stretch in PE because you have those skills already. We already discussed how yoga improves your overall emotional health because of its focus on breathing. Speaking of sports, did you know that LeBron James, Kevin Love, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar do yoga? So yoga improves your overall emotional health because of its focus on breathing. It helps you reflect on those big emotions we all have, which makes us more apt to like ourselves and be positive. It also helps us with building patience and discipline in order to achieve those big goals in life. And it allows you to do well in school because you're able to focus. So, we're going to talk about the basics of yoga stretching. When you're practicing yoga, you could do it anywhere, which is great. You can practice right now, not so much because we're social distancing. Practice in your living room, in your backyard. You will need water. You don't want to overwork yourself without water, and a towel or music. It can be between 5 minutes to 45 minutes. It depends on how long you want to challenge yourself. It's totally up to you. And make sure you breathe. Don't forget to breathe because if you breathe, it helps promote relaxation. Go at your pace. Don't feel like you have to overwhelm yourself. Remember, we're doing this to love our bodies. We're not trying to punish or overcompensate for our bodies. It's just a way to relax and show some nourishment to ourselves and bring some positivity into our lives. So, I think the exercises work best when we're not doing it from a mindset of we have to do it or we should do it, but more so we're doing it because we love to do it and we love ourselves. Here are some cool YouTube classes that you can take. There's some middle school ones here. Here are some stretching apps that you could do. Kids Yoga Challenge, Pocket Yoga, Work It Kids, Yuva Yoga. And here are some free pose cards. Forward bend pose, down dog pose, yoga pretzel cards. And you can purchase it or download it for free. So that's pretty awesome. Usually you have to pay. Let's practice. We're going to do the tree pose. This one is a way for you to feel grounded and it promotes flexibility and stability. Stand with your hands to your side and straight back and say to yourself, I send roots down deep into the earth. This is called the mountain pose. Now we're going to move to position 2. Put your palms to your chest.
Kind of like you're a praying mantis.
And tuck one foot inside the opposite leg and try to balance yourself. And say to yourself, I am focused and stable. Just stay focused. If you lose balance, it's okay. Just refocus and try again. You can try again in yoga. Now we're going to move to pose 3. I reach high to the sky. Stretch your arms out like branches and keep having your foot inside the opposite leg. Try to stretch your arms out like you're touching the sky. And now pose 4. I am a beautiful tree. Bring your hands together above your head. That's all for today. I hope you try this pose and these other poses later. I'll show you the other poses. You can pause on this and try it out yourself. It's called a pretzel twist. And then if you want to really challenge it yourself, it's a plank. It's hard to get used to, but keep trying. And it helps you build your core strength, which helps with back problems and all sorts of things. That's all for today, guys. Like I said, I hope you guys are safe, and if it feels like everything is so stressful, just remember you can always find that peace within yourself if you just take time to self-care and schedule in activities that make you happy. And again, just try to be nice to yourself during this time and try your best. All right. Bye, guys.